All right, it's been a little bit. It's been a while, but I have. I don't. Weirdly, I don't have that much to talk about with the book. I do have things that I want to talk about with the book. I want to talk about the book in its entirety right now because there. I want to talk about this more like literary criticism. There's things that I'm really enjoying about this book. There's things that I just don't care about, and I'm getting so bored by it. I have said this in other videos, but I am getting so bored and overwhelmed at times by the amount of like story that he's putting in some of these side characters. I think some of it might have, importance later on in the story, but at the moment it's just not all that appealing or intriguing to me. Like, I don't care about the backstory of someone that he's fighting that really probably a lot of points I don't really think is going to have that much significance on the story. Maybe he's just creating more sympathy and for us for having certain, feelings about certain characters. But it's just like too much sometimes. This book to me at the moment, and I think this is a weird way to structure it. And maybe this is just like my lack of attention span. And I keep comparing this to Harry Potter in my head because Harry Potter, he had 7 years of school, 6 years really, but 7 years of school. 7 books. And each of these books you were looking forward to the next one because you don't know what else is going to happen on this adventure. With these books right now, Dinniman kind of screwed himself over because he created a lot of intrigue on the 6th floor and then a lot of intrigue on the 9th floor. And again, this is one of the reasons why I think he deleted completely the 7th floor, is because he knew maybe he couldn't keep people's attention. Well, and this is a national bestseller. What the heck am I talking about? But maybe Dinniman knew that he didn't or really want to try to keep people's attention for 2 whole books before they get to the 9th floor, because Faction Wars seems like it's like the culmination of this. Like, everything that I'm doing right now seems like it's leading to Faction Wars. Like, that's the thing that I'm most interested in. And everything else it's in this book right now, The Bedlam Bride, feels like a distraction for that. And I'm kind of bored by some of the things. The only 2 things that I've really, really enjoyed in this section so far are the discussion that he has with Audette. But that whole discussion was about Faction Wars. And then the conversation that he's having currently with, and I just finished book 2 in this. So I'm on like the 3rd part or whatever. And he just finishes the conversation he has with I always forget their names. So Carl goes to that one person that's like the memory, and then there's a group of people, and it's supposed to be this huge revelation of this memory, but it's not. And then this person explains to him that they had to shut that down. They had to bring him to this room, and his lawyer's there. And they kind of like do an exchange for some of the objects that he was given there. And that didn't really seem all that much about this specific level, but it just seemed to talk about the game in its entirety. And I think that is so much more compelling than this level. This level with the Bedlam Bride, maybe it's going to play some important role in the rest of, or in the next book, but I don't care that much about the cards. I don't care that much about Uzi Jesus or whatever other cards that they have. Their level upgrades aren't all that appealing to me. Like, I don't even care that much about that. Like, I want even more things. Like, I don't know what their levels are currently. We haven't gotten a level update. We haven't gotten what their rankings are in a long time. I want to know more stuff about that. Like, we're getting some boxes that they're opening that they're kind of just boring. Like, nothing is really that intriguing about this. We still don't know what the yam is. At least I don't know what the yam is. Maybe they've said it and I just tuned it out. But I find myself getting a bit bored by this section. I'm hoping, because I'm toward the end of this novel right now, I think I have like 7 hours to listen. It's going to get a little bit better. But I don't know. I feel like the whole, this chunk of the novel, I am only interested in what's going to happen in the next book, in Faction Wars. And again, there's all sorts of interesting things that are happening in Faction Wars. And there's all sorts of things that are happening in this book that are talking about Faction Wars. But I find myself, that's the only plot line that I really care about. I just care about the next book more than I care about this one. This one feels like a bridge to get from one to the other. And it's a bridge that has a lot of potholes and a lot of things that are like losing my interest or making me bump over this bridge. And I don't know, if I was Dinniman, how you could do it where it's not like that. Like, he did an interesting job of making you excited for the 6th level and the 9th level. but he had to do something different to create more intrigue behind all the other levels. Otherwise, all I'm doing is I just was looking forward to the 6th level the entire time for the previous books, and now all I'm doing is looking forward to the 9th level. Like, I just want all the books to speed up so I can get to the 9th level. And I don't know if that's a smart thing or a bad thing to do. Like, it was working, it was beneficial for him in the beginning because I just kept me reading onto this. But at this point in this book, like, I am just reading The Bedlam Bride or listening to it just so I can get to the next book and just so I can get some of the information in my head about the next book. And I don't think that's a really good thing to do. And this book is really long too. I just wish he made it shorter because it needs to be shorter. There's too much combat in this book. There's too many small little battles. I just want some of these emotional moments that he has with Donut more. Like, there's even things that are missing with the emotional movements of this. Like, Carl meets his, like, he realized that he has a brother, which is crazy. That was a huge revelation of this book. But that seemed to fall flat because the emotional tone of that didn't necessarily hit so much. Like, I don't know. Some parts of it were just missing to me. And maybe I'm just kind of getting less intrigued by the series as a whole, but I just found when I was doing this read that it just seemed to falter a little bit. This book just is not holding my interest like the last book did. And I hope that this book will increase. I feel like the last book started off crazy strong. And then the last third of it kind of dropped a little bit, but it still kind of held a little bit strong. The last third was a bit overwhelming. There was a lot of things going on, but it still was good and fun and decent. This book, I think it started off kind of boring. Or no, I actually started off really strong, and then it got a little bit boring. And then I think it's dropped into like the dregs of like there's too much going on. He needs to kind of synthesize and consolidate what he's doing. And now I am hoping that the end of this book kind of ramps up a little bit and I have a bit more intrigue in it, but I don't know. I just don't know. So I did a huge chunk of listening because I was driving a lot and I was walking a lot. So I did a good amount of listening, but I'm back. I'm listening to it more. Probably should finish in the next few days. So I'll give you my thoughts as I go. But that's all I got. I don't know. I'm like half-hearted on this book right now. Let me know if I'm crazy or what else I am. But that's all I got. I'll see you in the next one.